Welcome back to Hot Flashes and Cool Topics. We have a fun episode today with two-time Emmy Award-winning makeup artist, Melanie Mills. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, we are excited to talk to you, but we want to make sure everyone knows that you are one of the incredible panelists on our Conversation with Prime Women event on October 8th. So you get to actually have a one-on-one questions answered, talk about what it is to wear makeup and feel good after 50. And this episode is going to be kind of like a little teaser for that. So I wanted to start off with, how did you start your career? I know you're two-time Emmy Award winning and you were head of the makeup department for Dancing with the Stars, but you didn't just walk into Dancing with the Stars. How did that come about?
I had no idea I was going to be a makeup artist. I was big on traveling, and I ended up, like, through a late language lab situation, pulling Live and Learn in Italy, like the little paper, and did it. And I lived there for a year in Florence, and it was amazing. And I went to the Università di Firenze per Stranieri, where I really just met tons of Danish and Icelandic and German and Swedish friends, because those countries pay for those people to go and live abroad. And so I was the only American, but it was such an awesome, awesome experience. And after that, I would waitress for a couple of months, save up money, and then go couch surf for a couple of months. And I did this for years. And my last time in Italy doing this, I was visiting some friends, Icelandic friends, and one wanted to take a makeup course. And so I went with them, and I walked into this amazing old nunnery turned makeup school and was like, wait, you can make money doing makeup? Like, it just hit me. I was kind of a surfer chick, so it's like makeup was not like a huge thing for me. But as I was, entering into the college scene and the professional world, it was becoming more of a thing. And it just kind of struck me. And then it also struck me like, ooh, maybe grandma will help me live in Italy for another year going to this school now. Long story short, I was telling my hairstylist about this, like, oh my God, I almost was going to go and do this. And I just don't think it's going to, I didn't know you wanted to be a makeup artist. I said, neither did I. She said, you should meet my roommate who's a union makeup artist. And then again, long story short, we kind of stumbled upon each other. And then that woman offered me an internship on a non-union film. I had never done makeup before. I had never done makeup professionally, at least before, never had any education, nothing. But they were so desperate for somebody just to help with sweat and just powder that they took me on. And I had a knack for it. And, that movie I ended up working on for free for 6 months. Then that hairstylist started taking me on to all these other films, and it just started kind of building. And that's how it all happened. I believe anything just happens out of the blue for no reason. Everything happens for a reason. It was all just these steps that just kind of kept falling in front of me, that kept jumping on and taking all those opportunities.
Well, that and all the experience that you got from learning all that, I'm sure you have learned what works and what doesn't work and how to solve issues that come up while you were doing these films. And, I'm probably jumping a little ahead of myself here, but I did go to your store, the Makeup Altar, that's in East Nashville, which is so fantastic. And I bought one of your setting spray, your Melanie Mills. You could say that I have it in the other room, but yes, I'm in Florida right now, and I have been using that. And I am telling you, it is close to 100 degrees here, and my makeup is not coming off of me. Okay, that's number one. I'm vouching because that works so well. Yeah, you've got it right there, because I brought it downstairs to bring in the room, and I forgot to bring it in the room with me. But that really works. So you have definitely learned through this experience what is working, what doesn't work. So that's something I want to talk about too, is how do you get your face ready? How do you prep your face to look great, especially
mature
at our
faces?
Age?
Yes,
mature
women
faces.
Over 50.
Yes. What are some great tips for prepping your face?
Yeah. And I would like to boast a little bit that I actually am an expert in mature glam. I have coined mature glam. I do a lot of trade shows for what's called the makeup show. It's like these professional makeup, for all of us professional makeup artists from nationally get together around the country at different places. And a lot of these like indie brands, like myself with Melanie Mills Hollywood, which is my brand that I ended up, birthing through dancing with, actually a lot of my other friends' brands, it's because we have a problem and there's nothing on the market that's working for us, so we end up developing it and just kind of making it happen. And so a lot of these products are kind of underground that aren't like at Sephora, Ulta, Nordstrom's, all these places that unfortunately the public, just gets bowled over with all this other bigger advertising. And they're missing all these great, great, great little indie products. Like my setting spray is kind of one of them. But yeah, so they're Mature Glam. I started doing these tours with it because Eugenia Weston, who is the founder of Cinna Cosmetics, who's been doing Bette Midler for, her whole career. Cinna Cosmetics has been around, I think, 45, 50 years. It's a classic staple line. She's out of Beverly Hills. She taught Anastasia of Beverly Hills how to do brows. She's really the queen of brows. But we started to do this tour. So she's about, I think now she's about 74, 75, stunning woman. Okay. And we started to realize that this niche for women, and I would like to even push the Mer Glam even down a little notch to even 45. I find that people are coming into my shop 45, 47, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70 that are just feeling completely lost. And it's because, a lot of the media is so geared and a lot of the products are so geared towards, youth. But Eugenia and I really realized this. And so we started this tour called Mature Glam. And there's this big myth where as you age, less is more. But no, that's not true. As a matter of fact, we start to lose our features and you need more makeup. You need to paint it back on if you want to, look fabulous again. I can't tell you how many times, like on Dancing with the Stars, just for example, we had so many beautiful, mature women that were so used of being singly lit. Priscilla Presley was another one of them. Why am I blanking on the one I'm thinking of?
Marie Osmond.
Oh, Jane.
Yeah.
Seymour.
Marie Osmond, Jane Seymour, Florence Henderson. I mean, gosh, we had a lot of these beautiful ladies that were so used to being single lit, and using this kind of minimal makeup. Now we're on Dancing with the Stars. It's all about glow, glitter, glam, tan, all this stuff. You're on a national, outlet with like 30 million people, checking you out. And now you're being forced to do something completely outside of your usual, situation and that you don't have much control of. Multi-lighting, big lighting, multiple cameras. But I can't tell you how many times we'd go to put on some shimmer. And like, for example, Jane Seymour, no, I can't wear shimmer. It makes me look older. Or with like even Susan Lucci. I love this story because like she too was like only in her typical makeup. And then it was like, but Susan, or Jane or whoever, like you are mature. Okay. That's just all there is to it. So embrace it and have fun with it. You know what I mean? Wearing shimmer isn't going to make you look older. Okay. Like it's going to just be glam and beautiful and fab. How many women do we look at? Like I love Iris. Is that her name? The
100-year-old. Iris. It starts with an A. Yes. Yes.
Ablam or, oh gosh, horrible. But that's who we're talking about.
Yes. I'm looking it up as we
fabulous.
Speak.
Yeah. I mean, she's fab. She's dripping in these clothes and this jewelry and this red lip and this like statement. And, we don't need to crawl under our like yoga pants by the time we're 50. You know what I mean? I mean, we can still be fabulous.
I don't want to walk into Sephora and have a 20-year-old try to sell me makeup, and by the way, it's Iris Apfel.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And she's 101.
I love that woman.
Iris.
Wow.
Fabulous. My grandma is 92. She has, they actually just broke up.
Oh, she had a boyfriend.
She had a boyfriend. She had a 69-year-old boyfriend.
You go, Grandma.
Having sex. Okay.
Whoa.
Oh, she's gonna be so happy you told that on our podcast.
But I'm just like, it's fabulous to hear that these women are happy and want to be out there and doing what makes them feel good. And
Why not?
yay. And
Why
yeah,
not?
it wouldn't be shocking if you said a 92-year-old man was having sex. So why should it not be shocking for a 92-year-old woman to be having sex too? So gives us all something to look forward to and some hope out there. So
Exactly.
But I do, I truly think, I
yeah,
truly think it's like the state of mind too. And like,
Yes.
yeah,
I do that we can get into this niche of like, my husband loves me, he doesn't care, how I look, but you know what, they do. And whether you have a husband or not, or a wife or whatever, it's about how you feel too, right? So you can still feel great with no makeup on, of course, but like, but you can feel better too with a little something stuff, little extra stuff, a little something here and there, or just like a full glam.
yeah,
So
yeah.
kind of let's start out from the beginning. Women 45 plus, many have gone through menopause or in the process of perimenopause and going through it, noticing their skin is changing, getting drier, getting some lines. What are you noticing the changes in women's skin, and how do you address them to your clients or for your clients?
Texture starts to change, pores start to get bigger. You either get drier or you get combo, you just change, or you're dripping sweat all the time. And then so how do you put makeup on that? How do you wear that? You know what I mean? So those are some big ones I'm finding. There, unfortunately, I feel so bad for this less is more thing as we age thing, because I truly don't believe in it. Like I said, we start to lose our features and we kind of need to paint them back on, whether, we start to lose our eyebrows, our lashes, our hair. There's a lot of things that we start to go through. Our facial features start to change. We start to get the wrinkles, we start to get all this other stuff, you know what I mean? And I love it when it's like, well, I don't wear concealer, even though you have this, a person may have like a bluish, reddish, purplish under eye, because they're worried that the concealer is going to make them look worse because it's going to settle in their lines that are already there. They're there. You know what I mean? So there's ways of applying concealer with the right concealer and the right powders to then cover the other stuff to brighten yourself and to brighten up and just can feel a little bit better, and then not necessarily worrying about these lines over here. They're there. Just get over it, and let's make all the other little bits that like are starting to change, and just let's make those better. And there's just ways of doing it. And it is true, like we can't pack on the makeup the way the YouTubers are. We can't use half of those products. There's certain products that really work. So I'm going to backtrack or fast forward, however you want to say it. I was 47 when COVID hit. I had already been in the business for 25 plus years doing makeup for film and TV. And I loved my career. Like you said, 2-time Emmy winner. I also was nominated 21 times. I've got 5 Guild Awards. I was, kind of top up there in film and TV. But, the hours are super grueling. And when COVID hit and it all stopped, I realized that I was actually kind of starting to get really bitter. And here I am, 47. I have friends that are, 60, 65, 70, still doing the film and TV grind, because at that stage they almost can't even afford to live without the work, especially in California. But I'm also watching them just kind of like it's a brutal business. Like their bodies are kind of falling apart. You know what I mean? And I thought to myself, man, I love makeup and I love what I do, but I can't see myself for 15, 20 more years, and I got to figure out something else to do. And I just started to realize that I got to get out of LA. We'd been wanting LA. So we just took the dive. I was told kind of in meditations, Nashville. And so we came here. I had no idea I was going to open up a makeup shop. And so we took 1 year completely off. And then when it was time to start making money again, I did come here with the back in my mind, okay, there's tons of celebrities. I'm sure I can do makeup out here. I asked my friend who does Reba McEntire, where's the professional makeup store? And he's like, can you believe we don't have one? And I'm like, no. And that's when the light went off. And I'm like, yes, that's my second act. I had no idea, even with opening this store, like how cool of like kind of a community thing we were building, and how the women were coming out of the so happy, like to have somebody of my expertise to be able to weigh on. And so I guess why I went to the story is everything that's curated in my shop, yes, professionals can use, and there's some products that a consumer would not be interested in at all, but there's plenty of makeup that the consumer will, and especially for the mature glam, of which I, am an expert in. I curate pieces from all of these lines that I've like relied upon my entire career. Just as we were saying earlier, like I've had to learn how to make makeup last for this type of skin and this type of weather and this type of condition. And, how do I fix that? And how do I fix this? It's like beyond just like slapping makeup on somebody and pushing them out the door. I actually have to sit with that makeup for 12, 15 hours a day, making sure it looks great all day or all week or all month, and that their skin does too. So I really love that I've been able to bring all these pieces together to just really kind of create this step process for people like women like us that need this stuff.
Yeah. And, when I'm trying to, get that, together, I've always loved makeup. I really don't know a lot about what I should be doing with it. And it's so what, I do my skin routine. I do my serum, I do my moisturizers. And I always feel like my skin is so weird. Or sometimes after I've done my moisturizer and I try to put on the foundation, it's like it starts I don't know if it's the moisturizer starts peeling up. I'm doing something wrong there, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong there.
So
Do
is
you know
that
what I'm doing
is
wrong
that a
there?
primer thing?
That's-
Is that a primer thing where she should be priming the skin before she puts on the makeup?
There are some definite steps. So when makeup artists don't usually love to have skin super juiced up with all the stuff that we're using, because it starts to compete with the makeup later on. There's only a few sunscreens that I can deal with that won't break up the makeup, in my opinion, later on. So you're absolutely right with feeling frustrated when you do all your gorgeous skincare that you've invested all this money in. And believe me, I'm not saying throw that out the door. I'm just saying pause. So that's just one little tidbit right there, one little secret. Put your deodorant on, get dressed, put your skincare on, go make your coffee, go do something for a second, let all that skincare settle, let it get in there and do its job, and kind of I always say that even just with skincare, take a minute, like you put you wash your face, and then you're going to tone, then you're going to put 1 to 3 serums on. Maybe you need to let each of those serums have a moment to like get into your skin and do its job, rather than piling the next one on. So I'll be like, do your deodorant for a minute, like go put on your skirt, or go put on, like give yourself like little breaks in between the skincare, depending on how much you're putting on. And then as well as when we get into the makeup prep too. And so, but there could be some skincare products that simply do not work with your makeup routine too. So that's just something where you need to bring that in, and we need to discuss it and go over it. And but that is an absolute thing that can absolutely happen, that can be very frustrating. And when we were young, we could pile everything on and like just kind of slap it all on and like run out the door. We have to take a little more time now. We do.
Well,
Just
Yeah.
a tip. Just a bit.
Thank you. Thank you.
In line with that, for women over 50, when they start their makeup routine, they're looking at it and they've got concealers and they've got foundation and they've got powders and they've got this. What should you start with, and how do you build on from there?
Skin prep. Skin prep is so huge. So there's 4 things right now currently on the market that I'm in love with. Mind you, I didn't used to be a big primer girl, because they used to be mostly siliconed, and as a professional, you put the primer on and okay, for a second it looks blurred and smooth and all this great stuff, but then you go start to put the makeup on and it starts rolling and pilling and then just settling weird. And like, so I didn't use primer in my career honestly until the end. I used a Laura Mercier oil-free primer, mostly for male grooming, to be very honest. And then, so I would use other kind of heavier makeups to kind of make up for those pores. That's another story. But now makeup has come so far. It really has. I mean, even for makeup artists, like we used to have to mix everything, create like our own shades and this and that and everything. Now makeup has really come so far with so many great benefits packed into the makeup as well. Makeup has become pretty darn easy. It's really about the steps of prep and finding the right tones and the right powders, because powder is important. And it is a lie that powder makes you look older. It makes you look older when it's the wrong powder in the wrong places and the wrong shades, and the wrong types. But I think it's essential for powder, especially as we're dealing with these hot flashes and the pores and all this stuff. So I have found 4 products, guys, that I swear, and they're not my own products. I have to purchase these at wholesale. Okay. So it's not like I'm, like my Gleam products, which I did develop and I really truly believe in too. These are products that I believe in because they work. So step 1 would be the Danessa Myricks Beauty Oil. Why I don't generally, I used to never love oils with makeup because again, it can maybe break it down later on. I love oils for nighttime routine, which we can get into that. But yeah, no, so this is a dry oil. It goes on like an oil. It looks oily and glossy. It's got gold leaf in it, some other benefits in it too. But what it does is it kind of like soaks in and then has a dry finish, meaning that it won't compete with your makeup later. So you're going to get all that like kind of juice and that glow and that underglow and that hydration, because that's another key thing for maturing and mature glam is glow. We've got to bring the glow back, because we start to just, the glow starts to go. Now, when you are darker toned, these ladies are so lucky because they have more oil in their skin, right? The kind of fairer we are, the drier we get. And so we have to kind of work a little bit harder on that. But yeah, so the Danessa Myricks dry oil. Then my next step would be her new Yummy Skin Serum, which is this beautiful serum with like one of the ingredients is squalene, another one is salicylic acid. I'm talking on such a small level though. And other things with this really beautiful, soft glow. You put that on, that's another layer of just kind of smoothing and just kind of adding that glow in. Then the next step is another cosmetic that or prep that I can't live without. And this goes for almost everybody, especially even younger kids that have texture, acne, all this stuff. It's HD Skin Booster. It's a serum. It's kind of a thick serum, and you put it on. And there's also ways to put these products on to get their max benefit too. And so this one you kind of like really kind of rub in, especially where there might be some texture, because that's another thing that happens. We get the bigger pores, but then also some people start to get like dry, like kind of like bumpies. And so this is a plumper, and it really actually instantaneously plumps. And there was a woman over the weekend, I love it. She goes, "Well, I already have a round face. I don't need anything plumping." I go, "No, it's not. It's not going to make your face more round. It's just going to plump your skin to be prepped." And it just does this beautiful layer. And then there's this beautiful tack. Okay, and this is really just for makeup. The other 2 products you can use without makeup, but this one is really for the makeup because it does this tack, and you want that because it helps the makeup stick. So that's the third. The fourth is a primer. And I've become a huge fan of primers, especially as myself, my pores as well. I turn 50 next year, are getting bigger by the day. And so this Makeup Forever, it is called Pore Minimizer Primer. And there's 4 primers from the Makeup Forever collection that I love. But the two are like the redness corrector, which is, because another thing that starts to happen is we start to get real red, sometimes some people, and with the flashes too, right? And then just some even rosacea kind of starts to pop up. So there's the redness corrector, but the pore minimizer is kind of like a magic product in my opinion. And that one goes on and you really, really push it in and it completely fills and blurs. And now your skin is prepped and ready for, your foundation application. And then it's going to depend whether you need a cream. There's people that don't want to feel like they have a lot of makeup on, and that's fine. There's products for that too. I have a collection, and I'll bring it to the show. Just I'm not going to bring the world like my shop, the whole shop, but I'm going to bring these key things that are going to really, really benefit from. And then, I know it sounds like a lot, okay, but once you have these routines down, it's just like you putting on your serum and your other serum and your sunscreen. And you know what I mean? It's just, it becomes, and there is a little education curve, at the shop, I offer one-on-one education. I also just do your makeup as well there. But for those that can't make it to the top, we can have some Zoom, as well, and kind of get through that way too.
And I think that is really important because, you think about if you're just trying and buying these products that you don't know about, look at all the money that you're spending on these products that you're going to waste that aren't working for your skin. But if you go and you become educated, then you know what to do, you know what to buy, and you're not wasting your money. And then you're buying quality products. I know people sometimes they look at a price tag and they balk, but then I think about, well, then I'm not wasting all this money on products that I don't use or can't use. Once I get educated, once I know what's going to work for me, then I'm going to have these products that are useful that at least I'm using. And I was going to ask, so the products you mentioned, do you carry them at the makeup altar?
I do. I do.
Yes.
I do, and I will be bringing them as well to the show.
Oh, that's
great.
wonderful.
And can you shop online also for the makeup altar? Okay. Yep. Okay, great.
And makeupaltar.com. And like I said, if you have any, I haven't added it officially to my menu. I have on my menu within education because I also teach professional makeup artists from beginning to even makeup artists that have been doing makeup for 20 years. Because in my opinion, education, you have to constantly keep up with education. You have to constantly, products change, your tips and tricks change. I always love to sit in on classes, and every single time I learn one little thing that I just go, wow, too. You know what I mean? And this is on all levels, but I do find with professional makeup artists that they get into a niche and then they think, I've got this down, I don't need anything, I'm good to go. And they don't realize all the valuable tidbits they're missing. So I offer professional makeup education from beginner and then up to the pro. And I also offer what's called a mentorship program where I do a Zoom thing where you can book me just in one session or 3 sessions for a Zoom 1 hour kind of just meeting where I can help you with branding, because I have a cosmetic line, your website, social media, advertising, just many, many things. So I'm going to add the mentorship Zoom as well.
So you've got the skin prepped, you've got your coffee, you read your paper or checked your,
got your deodorant on. You got it all.
Your deodorant on. For women's skin, as we age, it can be a little dry. So you've got all of this prep on. What's the next layer? Is it foundation? Are there what are some no-nos when doing makeup over 45?
No-nos for makeup. I mean, the biggest thing I could say is not having the right shade, literally.
Okay.
Because that can literally age you right there. That can make things look real wrong and weird right away. So what are other no-nos?
How do you, can I follow up and say, how does a woman figure out what her shade is?
Honestly, you got to get in there and you've got to play. And it's really about like also testing on your hand is the worst thing ever, especially as we mature because our veins pop out more and there's all this green and spots and blue going on. It's the worst place to test a makeup. You really got to take the makeup off and you really got to test here. And then also I find that most people go too light on their makeup, like shade wise. Because you also have to take into consideration your chest and your neck. And then we also want to contour and slim down our neck and our jaw lines, which usually entail different and darker shades. So you have to like kind of consider that in the big picture. Because I'm also all about like completion. Another thing that like 9 out of 10 women, 9.5 out of 10 people, even professional makeup artists don't do the ears. It's so important if you're going to wear foundation on your face that you have to hit your ears, you have to hit your neck, you have to get your chest, you have to get your behind the ears. Like The View is a perfect example. The View, okay, these ladies have this great makeup on, but then they're not doing their chest. And it's like, ah, you know what I mean? And our chest starts to become, because most of us have skin damage, we all come from that era. 9 out of 10 of us have skin damage on our chest, and it's usually red or ruddy or blotchy or spotty. And so it's really important to like have this flow going. I'm all about completion as well as body makeup, which brings me back to my line, Melanie Mills Hollywood. I'm known for my Gleam face and body radiance creams, which I developed mainly originally to even out all the crazy sunless tans that the pro dancers were doing. But it has become this really cool product that is like youth in a tube. And you can also use it on the face. But on the legs and on the chest, it's like, especially on the legs, it's referred to as liquid pantyhose. It's just this beautiful sheen that's like sophisticated with just enough blur to diminish, the varicose veins and fine stretch marks and discoloration. I believe you ladies bought some when you came, or was it just the spray?
I bought it. Yes. I was muting because I'm under the steps and I can hear people going up and down the steps.
We can't hear you.
But yes, good. I bought it. It's great because I do. Like right now I don't have it on, but I have sun damage really bad. I lived at the pool, and that is such a big thing that will age you. I know it really, I look at this and I'm like, oh my gosh. So that was really something too. And on your hand or your arms, everything. And I thought that was really too how you talked about the contouring on some of the Dancing with the Stars, just how the body contouring worked and how that is really helpful too. I thought that's amazing.
The reason why celebrities and people on television look so good is because we have all this knowledge and all this, when I'm sure you guys have seen pro makeup artists with their kits, they're huge, and we've got everything in there to handle whatever we need. But it's also because we literally are doing these people from head to toe. We're considering the whole package. And that is another thing with, I don't necessarily want to say that there isn't anything that somebody older shouldn't do, or because that brings me back to like, wear color, wear shimmer, wear makeup. You know what I mean? It's more about just how to do it right.
Yes. So, and that's another. Oh, go ahead, Colleen. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask for women with hooded eyes, or
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Great minds think alike.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
As women get a little older and their eyes can get hooded or wrinkles around, cream versus powder, eyeshadow, should they go lighter? Should they go like? What would you suggest for women to feel good and have their eyes pop?
Yeah, it really, really depends. Like, for like, say you want some drama, there's just ways to do it. You're just gonna go. So when it's hooded, you're missing like all this space, right? So you just bring the shadow up and you just kind of do a one tone like all the way over, so that way you kind of see it above. It's about blending. It really is. There's great cream products. The eyeshadows have come so far. I mean, they have so many great like hydrating elements to them, even the dry ones. Now, can you go too shimmery? Sure, but that's a personal opinion too. You know what I mean? Like I like to say, mascara is personal. You know, eyebrows are personal. Like if my opinion doesn't you know, I can kind of do what I think looks great, but if you feel better like that, then that's you need to feel better. You know what I mean? But I can give you at least the tools of how to do it. So, you know, for a smoky eye, you would go bigger. Or you would just keep it like more of a subtle thing and then focus maybe on some sexy undersmoke down here, which also opens the eyes, which a lot of women forget and don't do, is underliner. The other thing that starts to happen as we age is our eye starts to pull out like this. And you almost see that water line. Whereas before we used to do like a white or a nude in there to, like, you know, tone down the red or whatever. Now we're doing browns and black to kind of tighten the eye up a little bit so that that doesn't look so droopy. And just all these little things, you know. Can we wear lashes? 100%. You know, it's just about the placement. And I don't really think there's one cookie cutter way for eyeshadow in particular, but still, I do still think you should wear it. And it's just, I guess there would be like two versions I would throw out there, like a smoky and how to do it right. Oh, I was going to get back to one of the biggest things with eyeshadow I noticed, and just even women in general, young or mature, is the tools. Having the right makeup tools will just make your life so much easier. You know what I mean? Like I was at this women's conference, I was telling you guys about it before we hopped on here this weekend, and so many women, the name of the game was like, I can't wear concealer because it's going to get in over here into these wrinkles and make me look older. I can't wear powder because it makes me look older. What was the other one? Those were the two really, really big ones. And it was blush. Another thing, like, what do we do with blush as we start to mature? Well, we want to put it higher. We want to put it up. We want to lift with all this. You know what I mean? But there's a reason why powder comes with a puff. And I can't tell you how many women are like, oh no, so I only powder just a little bit of my T-zone with a powder brush. Well, guess what? Like, if your makeup's not set, you're going to move around your makeup with that powder brush, and then you're just not giving, you're just not delivering the set that you need. And at first, it may look a little powdery and like, woo, but like, give it 10 minutes and let it just kind of settle in. You really need that puff. The puff is such a tool that we have to have. The puff like really pushes that powder in. And I always like kind of start off like with the majority of the powder in the T-zone, like right here. And then I'll roll the puff kind of out and up so that it, you know, we don't need as much powder out here, but we do need to set the makeup. Same with the under eyes. I use a different powder under eyes than I would on the face, because we want to have the sheerest possible coverage under the eyes so that, yes, it doesn't cake up, and, you know, but you still have to set it. And that's just where women, they'll put the concealer on and then they're like, I don't want to do powder, but then they need the powder in order to set it so that it doesn't start to settle worse than it would. You know what I mean? Am I
No,
making
you
sense?
do. Do
No,
you
you
use
are.
like, if you, so you have the puff for here, but do you use a different kind of brush under the eye?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So two big tricks with concealer for mature glam under the eye is you want to put the majority of it, you'll put your two dots from the wand like right there, and maybe a light dot right there. And then you want to use and of course I sell all this stuff, and I'll have these at the show. You want to use kind of a dense eyeshadow brush to kind of spread that out and airbrush it, like I like to say,
Okay.
so that you're getting kind of this thin, and you're working it around, and you're airbrushing it. And then you want to use a very finely milled translucent loose powder with a eyeshadow brush under the eye. And the other thing is making sure that before you powder, that you have any sort of creasing, blend it out, because if you have some of that concealer that's maybe creasing a little, and then you go in there with the powder, you're going to set that crease. Back to the brushes, you were talking about eyeshadow, and then I got kind of sidetracked, but that is another big thing that I find with any women, anybody, is they're not using the right tools or the right brushes, because it does actually pay to have high quality tools. You don't need to buy $100 brush, but the $5 brush, from Target probably isn't going to give you the best service. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then also care for your brushes, which that's a whole nother topic. And there's the makeup sponges, but one of my biggest tricks with eyeshadow is the blend. And so I always have a couple eyeshadow brushes that don't have any product on them. I call them clean brushes. And so you apply with your, makeup brush that has the makeup on it, and then you get in there with the clean brush and blend, blend, blend. So those are some more
just
tricks.
Really great tricks. And, and it's all about feeling better. I love makeup. I have some on right now. And, sometimes I may not, like with Colleen and I are just doing audio. I probably won't have it on if I'm getting ready to work out. But if I'm going to do video, I'm like, it just makes me feel good. And it's just what other people feel better having on.
There's a lot of times you might pop in the shop that I won't be fully done. I'm also very confident in just my natural skin, but if you want to take a photo with me, I'm going to be like, I got to get my makeup on. Like,
we talk about lips, because so many women, as we get older, feel like their lips get smaller and they start to outline these strange, bizarre shapes on their lips that really aren't complimentary. And it's all about feeling good about yourself. But as our lips start to shrink a little bit, what can we do to make them feel a little more pouty, I guess?
I have another pretty cool product called the Lip. By the way, I love it. My friend developed it originally so because she was on a set where she was dealing with that really pigmented, matte, strong lipstick that will last for 24 hours, and so she's on a set and she's having to do quick changes with this, really highly pigmented lip. And so she developed what's called the lip loofah, which is this little mitt that goes on your finger, and it's full of peppermint oil, and it can instantly take off a lip. But what I love it for, because I'm not really on set anymore, is for lip prep. And because that peppermint oil does actually plump and smooth out, and then also just getting rid of all like the muck too, right? Because I find that women will put on their lips like on dry, kind of mucky lips, and then that's just going to read through the lipstick as well. But is there like a total, really there is I do find myself overlining, but there's the right way to overline, because you can go too far. And it's also with like the right shades and stuff again. But I do think a little overlining is good to go. I'll also put that primer around the lip line too, because that does also smooth out a little bit that area too. Also, when I do lip liner, I'll do unless somebody wants that lip liner look where the liner is darker or different than the lipstick, which, hey, I love that look too. It's a style, it's a thing. It can be, but most just want like a solid lip color. And so I will do the lip liner all over the lip, all of it, and then do the lipstick. And then I do like a creamy lipstick for ladies as we mature, because it does deflect from it just looks juicier, more youthful. You know what I mean? But then, yes, there's those kind of lines. And what do we do about that? It's just kind of the tip. Another trick is also doing some concealer around the lip line, or when you're done, finishing off with a little concealer just to kind of tighten it up.
Can we talk about makeup remover? Because just as important as how you put your makeup on is how you take your makeup off. So for women who are getting a little older, is the Neutrogena makeup wipe still going to be okay? Or do you need to do an extra step?
No, and I got to tell you, those wipes have stuff in them that you don't really want. They're really not great. The wipes are quick fixes. The wipes are for like a quick, you're clean. You know, they really shouldn't be relied upon as like an everyday makeup remover. You really want to use beautiful cleansers, exfoliators. Um, there's even this device that, yes, I stock. It's from the B3. B3 Beauty is a line that I carry. It's a friend of mine who makes these small batch oils that I love, especially for nighttime use. One in particular that's called the lily oil that she has helichrysum in. I might be pronouncing that wrong, or it was also referred to as immortelle. It's been around for centuries, and it's used for scars and burns, and it's a very luxurious ingredient. But she carries these two devices that I love. And in luxury skin prep for luxury clients, I will use the one blue and red light beauty wand, infrared blue and red light for stimulation. It helps to tighten and helps all this good stuff. It also helps to push any skin prep I'm doing like really into the skin. But she has another one that can go in the shower that is it looks like a little black kind of flat egg, and it's plastic, and then it's got blue, green, and red light therapy, and it can and it vibrates, and there's like this it is a plastic, but there's like bumpies on it that really help you get in there and cleanse. I'm a huge fan of the SkinCeuticals line, and really just cleansing with really nice, cleanser that does the job. The beauty erasers, those are those really soft towels. Those are great to cleanse with as well. There's a point of exfoliating, and then there's a point of going too far with exfoliating and actually kind of almost damaging your skin. So those rough, hotel or washcloths, you want to have like those really soft and just really beautiful cleansers and stuff. I would not rely on those wipes because they have a lot of other crap in there that you don't want.
I like to use, and I found it lately, and I'm finding more companies make it. And I think the first time I got one, it was Estee Lauder. It's like balm, and it's a cleanser, and it takes everything off. I think Estee Lauder.
We always go back of our roots, like that's the good old cold cream that grandpa used to use. It's true because it's gentle, and those balms are fantastic.
I'm finding a lot of companies are making them now. Like I've seen them from CeraVe to everything now. If I'm in a pinch and I run out, but that seems to get my eye makeup off the best without pulling my eyelashes out. And I do know like the oils and things like that, but I've found those seem to be one of my go-tos, and then I follow it up with the rest of my skincare routine.
Yes.
And
And then there's I do have this product from Makeup Forever. Makeup Forever is a professional brand that originally started. Danny Sans, who is the founder, is French, and she was the designer of Cirque du Soleil fantasy makeup. So that's kind of how like Makeup Forever started with that, and then it became a true kind of makeup professional brand. But now it's been integrated into the consumer world. But the whole theory behind all of her stuff is that it's built for the pro. So it's like, and when we say that, it's because it's stuff that like we rely on for the day, for longer than the moment, than the fluff, I like to say. But I have this gentle eye makeup remover, but it's strong. It takes off the makeup, because the other thing is that we are dealing now with a lot of makeups that are waterproof, long wear, and you got to really kind of get it off.
Yes. Yeah. So in your store, in the Makeup Altar, you have your brand of makeup, and then can you talk a little bit about that, and then what other brands you carry in your store?
Yeah, so my line is called Melanie Mills Hollywood. It is really this is it, like right here. It's a small boutique line. It's 6 shades of what's called Gleam Face and Body Radiance. These loose shimmering powders. I've got 18 vegan synthetic makeup brushes, a makeup brush soap. A makeup brush soap, and then of course the setting spray. So the creams are moisture based. And again, because on Dancing with the Stars with the girls that were overly sunless tanning is great, but it can also really dehydrate your skin, especially if you're overusing it. And it can also just leave like streaks. And, we've all had our bad spray tans. I have like PTSD with it just because it was so overused. I smell like a sunless tan. I'm like literal PTSD. But anyways, I really needed a product to hydrate their skin, but then be a makeup that would blur like all that funky streaking and discoloration. But that also would dry to a soft, dry, touchable finish and not get all over the place, be transfer resistant. Because that was another thing I was dealing with on that show, because all those costumes are like one of a kind, made right then and there. So it was a challenge, and there just really wasn't much on the market. Plus, I didn't want a product that was like overly glittery. I needed it to like be like liquid pantyhose, was the idea. And so that's how the brand came around, was just out of frustration. I ended up mixing these products together to come up with this cream. I, about 5 years later, developed the spray because I went and did a job with these girls down in Florida, like down in the swamp, basically. And because it's a moisture-based product, it was moving way more than I wanted it to. The good news is if it does move and it does happen to transfer, it doesn't stain, just FYI. But I ended up developing the setting spray to really lock that down. And I just wasn't a fan of the wet sprays. I wanted a dry kind of aerosol, and that's how this baby was born. And that's my line. That's just a little baby boutique line. I had dreams of it becoming like a Laura Mercier or a Charlotte Tilbury, but it just didn't. And COVID really wreaked havoc on the line, but we're still here, and they're staple products, and it's great. So in the shop, I carry Makeup Forever, and I've really handpicked and cherry picked from all these lines, like what I think is really amazing. But the main brands are Danessa Myricks, Makeup Forever. And Makeup Forever, you can get it in a Sephora, or I'm not sure about an Ulta, or they have a freestanding store. I'm the only freestanding store outside of theirs in Sephora that stocks them, and it's because I've had such a great relationship with them. And I carry stuff like the Sephora's, would carry. So I love Makeup Forever. Their technologies are amazing. I love Danessa Myricks. Danessa Myricks is a friend of mine. She is an amazing makeup artist herself. She used to be a developer for Benefit. And so her stuff, she's also a photographer, and she's all about glow and dew, and she just has these great the other thing I'm big on are multi-purpose products. And just a lot of her products are very multi-purpose. And so I love. And then Senna, I mentioned earlier, Senna, my friend Eugenia Weston, who was, who still is Bette Midler's makeup artist. Her line is just very classic, and I carry a lot of her line. And then we've got, let's see, Dose of Colors. I'm like looking in my head right now. Viseart, which is like an eyeshadow company out of Paris. We have Lemonhead glitters, which are kind of fun. God, I'm like trying to visualize the shop right now, but those are like the main. I carry Cosette Beauty, which is another makeup artist friend. He's editorial New York, and he's got some great stuff, lips, eyeshadows, Dose of Colors. That's not even all of it, but yeah.
People are gonna have to come to the store to check it out and to see everything.
To see what you have, because it's so nice coming from a professional, a 2-time Emmy winning, I don't even know how many times you said nominated makeup artist, that with these products that are probably, a lot of them are hard to get anywhere else. And
then just learning how to use them and in what steps and all of that good stuff too.
Right.
And like I said, you can shop it online, of course. And then you can set up, you can just email at customer service at the makeup altar, altar.com, and reach out. We can set up a Zoom thing as well if you're not in town. For the conference, for your ladies conference, we discussed how I'm going to set up appointments that people can book throughout the day. I'll probably have one or two other makeup artists with me that are of my standard. Everybody that works with me has to be of my standard.
Right.
And so I'll probably have a few there. So if you guys would like to hop in, and I think we were discussing that we'll either offer like a 20-minute just quick consultation or like an hour-long actual glam session. And it's not just your average glam session. You're going to learn as well through it.
And you will be on the
Fantastic.
panel, and you'll be on the panel for beauty and style to feel good. So this is just a taste of what Melanie is going to talk about at our event. But we learned so much. Bridget and I always learn so much when we talk to the experts, and you are one of the top experts when it comes to makeup and mature glam. I love that title. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Melanie. We will be talking to you soon. We're going to do an IG Live from your store with Bridget and I. So we will keep our listeners posted about that. But check out themakeubaltar.com, ALTAR, and make sure to grab your tickets because they're going fast. October 8th in Nashville, Conversations with Prime Women. Thanks, Melanie. We appreciate it.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. See you guys soon.
Thanks.